Welcome all as we congregate to the greatest toy line community, ever growing, ever changing. As we collect and adapt these figures to our own imaginations and embrace the fun, there's much to learn, especially if you're new to Mythics. Hey friends, thanks for tuning in to another episode of New to Mythics, episode 43 with my friend Joe Gonsalves. Welcome back, Joe. So happy to have you back, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Greg. I really appreciate it, man.
Anytime, man. I saw you at Legion's Con, and we're both like, man, we got to do it again. And
like ships passing in the night, we didn't have much FaceTime, but we were just like, hey, Greg, Joe, Greg, Joe.
Yes,
Joe. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But I'm honored that you took the time, and I'm glad to have you back. I think our last one was, I was just watching it. It was I think it was August or July or something. So
it's been a while. Yeah,
happy to have you back. A lot has happened since then. You made your first Legion's Con trip. Man,
what an experience that was. Just amazing
experience. Man, there's a lot to unpack there. So let's dig in, man.
Absolutely.
So pre Legion's Con, you set time aside. You know, you did your, hey guys, I'm leaving for a week, right? And so what do you know what to pack? Like what was your process in getting ready?
It's interesting just to note that not only was this my first Legion's Con, but this was my first convention that I had ever gone to. I've never been to a convention before, but even more interesting, I haven't brought up very much. This was my first real vacation where I took, and I'm 47 years old. I've never taken a vacation and gone somewhere to do something that I want to do. So, you know, the whole experience was kind of surreal to start. Yeah. I mean,
to not be working,
to not be working, but to also travel, to do something that I wanted to do, and then to have it be such an amazing experience.
Well, I heard you say, and I think it was another show, that there's only one or two of you guys that do your job.
Yeah, only two guys.
What's the process of being able to take off? Like, what did they have to do? Like clone you, or?
No, the other person has to cover. So like right now, the other oiler took a month off. He took like 3 weeks of December and 1 week of January, the first week of January off. And right now I only get 1 day off a week, because anything more than that will affect the process. So I'm just working every day, you know, but you know, I mean, it's good money around the holidays. It you know, I'm older. It wears me out, but you know, you do what you got to do. So
you do what you got to do, man. Yeah, me too, man. I'm doing that grind at the hospital. You got to do what you got to do, man. Plus, we got to pay for these toys, man. They're not going to pay for themselves.
You know, that dragon has been extra motivation to kind of, you know, chug through all the overtime that I've been working. It's like, well, at least I'll have extra money to put.
Now, are you dragon just doing one?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
I am doing at least one. I'm trying to talk myself out of getting more than one, but you know how that goes, you know?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Deep down, you kind of know the answer, but you're not ready to face it, you know, head on.
Yeah.
I didn't really think about it. Like I was listening to Eric Miller on his show, the Enablers, and he's like, you know, I'm going to support this Kickstarter. And I'm like, yeah, for sure, dude. And he's like, I'm going to get at least, you know, a couple and one to paint. And I was just like, whoa, like, I didn't even think about that like this dude is going to paint the dragon. I'm like, yeah, this thing, it's going to be beautiful, whatever.
Oh yeah. Eric kills everything that he does. He just destroys it. The dude is so talented. Now for me, because you know, the initial thought, of course, every wave that comes out, the first thing a lot of us think about is, ooh, what can I use for customs? But I also know that eventually we're going to have 5 of these, the 5 pillars,
right?
You know, so do I get an extra of each one to customize? I mean, I have the room.
I know you're a big dragon guy too.
Yeah, but gosh, I don't know. I'm still tossing it around, and a lot of it depends on what the going to be so beautiful right out of the box, but a lot of it'll depend too. Like, is there an all-in option? Obviously, I'll do that to get any extra accessories or figures that comes with. But then, can we get just another dragon at a lower price? A lot of it'll depend on.
I would think so, dude.
Break it down, But
yeah, I look forward.
I'm gonna get one all-in no matter what.
Yeah.
Now, if one of the and we were joking about this on Offworld, but I thought about it later, like how fun it would be if one of the stretch goal figures was an army builder. I know a lot of people.
Yes,
would be like,
I remember you saying,
an army builder with something like this, but at the same time, that's a little bit of an incentive, maybe to
I love my horsemen that they know how to get the money out of us.
Yeah, they do, and I never regret it. So
no, never. I always make the joke. I'm like, whenever I see Diego and George at the register, my wallet just opens up. It just
right. Here. And you're happy to do it.
Yeah, happy to do it, man. They got the smiles on their faces while they're ringing me up, while they're emptying my account, man. But I'm grinning like a boy, just so happy. But sure. I honestly I didn't even think about multiples. Like I am happy with the dragon, and I think whatever price is going to be a fair price because we both seen that thing in person. And, and whatever they're gonna. I mean, I know they're not one of those that's gonna suck all the money out of us.
No.
Not instantly.
Yeah, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it to us at value. Like yes, for sure.
And, so I'm not even worried about the price. I know it's going to be reasonable that most everyone won't be able to complain about because you're getting a freaking work of art. I mean,
that's one of the things that it's hard. People look at the picture of it, like people that weren't at Legion's Con to see it in person. You look at that and it's amazing photograph, but without being up close to see the detail and the scales, to see the detail and the paintwork on each individual scale, like the hand sculpted, the detail on everything was just exquisite. Like I can't rave enough. I don't usually say the pictures don't do them justice, but in this one particular case,
it's true.
It's really true.
And I think, I mean, people are always going to complain, but I think the people that more apt to complain are the people that haven't seen it in person.
Yeah.
Because like I said, whatever the price, those of us that have seen it, it's worth it. Whatever you guys, 100%. I mean, there's a threshold for me where I'm like, I can't do that. But I'm not going to complain and say it's not worth it because no, that thing is freaking, it's a huge, stunning, it's the most beautiful action figure I've ever seen.
Yeah. So. I mean, it's on a level with like any HasLab that's been out so far, like anything, just the majesty of it. I mean, like you said, I'm a dragon guy anyways, but the majesty, the detail, the paintwork, like everything on it is just magnificent. So whatever the price is, I'm going to be getting at least one.
Yeah.
Maybe two. Cause the thing about our community too, and this happens with a lot of stuff, there's figures that I'll see that I'll say, I don't really have an idea for a custom for that one. And I'll just get one. And then the 3D parts start rolling out when the figure's released, and you're going, "Oh man, I really want to, I want to do that custom, And then I'm sure it's going to be the same with the dragon. Somebody's going to have a custom head or custom parts for the dragon that I'm just like, damn, I wish I had another one. So we'll see what happens.
Ghost figure, that Ghost of Christmas Past, such a beautiful figure, man.
Yeah. Yep. I ended up with 3. I wish I could have got more, but the with the retailer wave hitting when it did.
Yes.
I just paid for the whole retailer
Yeah,
wave.
me too.
and then they dropped that one, and I was like, oh man. And it,
yeah,
you know, and I always joke, and sometimes it's not a joke, like, oh, we'll eat ramen noodles just so that I can get this figure, you know, like we're eating ramen noodles for about a week, you know, and other low priced foods just because I spent more than I should have. But
spaghetti again, guys. Spaghetti again. No
exactly. But I couldn't get just one. There's no way. Yeah,
but the thing with
so great.
It's the thing with the Horsemen though is that they you know, here's retail, and then here's Ghost, and then here's Reign of Beasts, and now after that, you know, there's something else going to be coming pretty soon, man.
Yeah, and so I've got to say this though, and I started customizing because there was too big of a gap between the waves. You know, this is back around, I want to say the Wasteland wave, somewhere, you know, Siege on Jorngar, Wasteland, somewhere in that ballpark. I was just in love with these figures, and they just weren't coming out fast enough. So I actually started customizing because it was like getting a new figure, you know,
right
in the interim, in between the waves being released.
You're making something new.
Yeah, I would feel like a hypocrite at this point to say, too much stuff is coming out. You know, I don't know. I want to say, give me more.
Yeah.
Give me more. You know, sometimes it's a little tight, you know, but man, getting this steady supply of new stuff has been pretty awesome.
Yeah. There's not much that I pass on, you know,
right.
Poxus. I had made up my mind. I'm like, you know what? I just want this and that, you know, maybe Thrace and a couple of wizards and I'm good. But when you see them at a con, or you see them in the community and friends have them and they start doing cool things, and I'm like, God dang, you know, I want that, you know, or you see it in hand like a Rakagor. It's like, Jesus, this figure is freaking beautiful. You know?
Especially nowadays with the toy photography. Like Trevor does some amazing stuff, but there's so many talented people nowadays doing toy photography where a figure comes out, like the Ghost of Christmas Past is a fine example of that.
Yeah.
Like Trevor's photos were amazing, but then my Instagram feed was just full of amazing, cool photos of this figure, you know?
Yeah. So, the figures, I mean, they're beautiful. Not to put down toy photography, but these figures are so pretty that it almost doesn't make it easy, but I mean,
makes it easier. You know, you're not trying to take a photo of a figure that maybe doesn't look so great. Like half of the job is done already. You know?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to your preparation for the trip. Did you know like what to bring? Did you have any idea? Like you said, you've never gone to a con. You've never really gone on vacation. Did you overpack?
I overpacked. I 100% overpacked. But
you're in Nevada, right?
Yeah, I'm in Nevada. But it's the flight that I took didn't allow a carry-on, so I have one giant suitcase. So I you know, brought the amount of clothes that I thought that I would need, but I like to be prepared, so I brought medications, and I had Band-Aids in there, and just everything.
You never know, you know,
that I could think to possibly bring. But I wanted to have space left over because I knew the things that I bought at the con I wanted to pack in the suitcase to bring back. So there were some people that were looking for figures, and I have this habit of overbuying figures because I have customs in my head that I want to do, and then not having the time to actually do them.
Right.
So I knew there was some folks that wanted some figures, and I had them. So I loaded up the suitcase with figures to give to people, you know, when I got to the con. So that was kind of fun too, you know.
I did want to shout out you and our mutual friend Gina.
That was right. I brought the swigs too. Yeah,
she was so touched. On one of the next upcoming episodes of New to Mythics, I interview her, and she brings this up and she tells the story and just how touched she was and why she was touched by it. But that's
right.
That's awesome, dude.
I didn't know all the detail to it about, she just had made a few comments that she really, that those were her favorite out of all of them. And there was so much amazing stuff, swig customs there, that I 100% was flattered by the fact that she said that she liked them. But, I had made 12. She had made over them a couple times, and it was just like, here you go, like,
yeah, that was,
to me, it didn't feel like anything, like a big deal, but she was so happy, it made me happy.
So her journey as not, I don't mean to belittle it by being, she started kind of in this community as a partner to Terrence, but then really, dug in and really started to get into the community and the people, and now she's customizing. Like,
it's
like,
amazing.
You're your own person. You're not Terrence's girlfriend anymore.
Right.
You're your own persona here. And like, she's like, people were like recognizing me, and I'm like, you're an awesome person. You're an integral part of this community. People love you already. You're,
Yep. And that was probably what blew me away the most at the con, because it was getting recognized. In my mind,
weird. That is so
it is so weird. It is so weird, because in my mind, I'm thinking I'll go there, I'll kind of be a wallflower, sit back. I know, I'm gonna hang out with a few people, but I didn't think it would be anything like it was. I just expected to kind of hang back and just watch the show. The minute I walked through the door, people were like, Joe, and running over.
And I'm like,
yeah. and it's so weird. And for 4 days, I felt like a celebrity.
Yeah.
And I had no idea anything like that was going to happen. It was so surreal.
I think in our little I call it a pocket universe, but I think in our little pocket universe, like, we do these shows and like, we kind of express ourselves. Like, you do a lot of shows, and I love watching all of them.
Right.
And so I think people kind of feel like they know you a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, we're all friends, and I love that. Like, I was like, people are asking, hey, how's it going? Or, they want to take a picture or whatever. And I'm like, like, of me? Like, why? But yeah, for sure, dude.
It is so weird having them ask, can I take a picture with you? And it's like,
hey, why would you want to? But okay.
Oh yeah. Like, I am nobody. Like, take my picture. You don't need permission.
Yeah.
But but it's really cool. Like, it was
cool.
Like I said, surreal. Like, just that somebody be like, can I take my picture with you? Like I'm somebody, but like you said, I didn't even think about the fact that I do the shows. Like, I just want to talk about toys.
That's
the
attention. It's fun. Like, I'm one of those that, like, as many friends as I could get in life, I will die a happy man. You know what I mean? But I don't do this for attention. I do it because I love talking to friends about toys. Like, it's fun. It's like, it's something that I actually know about, that I can express and articulate somewhat.
Right.
Enjoy the conversation and the interaction that I have with my friends,
Yeah. And for me, I'm kind of a hermit. I live in a very small town in Nevada, and there's just not, there's not any, like, you're not going to find very many people to talk to about toys in a small western mining town,
situation too.
It's kind of a salt of the earth community, so there's not a lot of people like talking about what action figures they bought. So what a wonderful age that we live in, that we can have the these shows and the internet to bridge that gap, so that we can interact with other people. So yeah, for sure. But I never thought about people watching it, even though we're reacting to comments and everything. I just didn't think about people being like, hey, that's that guy from that show.
Well, I think it's, the people that are watching are people that want to talk toys, or at least hear about it. You know, some people like I've got good friends that I'm like, hey, you want to be on New to Mythics? And like, nah, because I don't really have anything to say, but I like watching your show. And I'm like, okay, no problem. You know, and I get that. It's like you don't have to be on, you know, the show to enjoy a show. It's like, you know, I just love
for sure. For sure.
And sometimes if it's a good show like Offworld, I feel like I'm there. Like I feel like I'm in the room or listening to buddies or hanging out, you know, or like Mythic Enablers, you know, I just sit there and, you know, I wish I could interact sometimes. Like, oh yeah, I remember I saw this show and when I was a kid, and you know, you wish that you can interact a little bit. So it's nice to be able to actually interact.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I guess I have that kind of personality where not that I'm opinionated, but I've always got something to say, I guess.
Yes, you know? Stories.
Yeah, especially when it comes to legions. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. It was like when people said like a family reunion, it was better than a family reunion. I don't get along with my family as well as I got along with everybody. Yeah,
this is
better than family
that
reunion.
I want to see, that I, you know, really am looking forward to all year to see again. So what day did you get there? You flew in?
I got there. I took an overnight flight and got there Thursday morning.
Dylan picked you up?
So, yeah, Dylan picked me up at the airport, you know, and it was my first time being at a big airport too. I'd only flown one other time in my life, you know, and I couldn't find him. I was in the parking lot and he's like, I'm in the parking lot. And I was like, I'm in the parking lot. I can't see you. And he's like, hold on, let me ask. We're texting each other, you know, and he's like, oh, I'm on the upper level. And I'm like, there's an upper level, you know, So
that's a leap for you, man. I mean, your first con, your first vacation, your first big flight, maybe your first airport, you know, big airport experience.
Yeah, my last flight was only about I'm drawing a blank on where I flew to, but it's close to Nevada. So like it was like an hour and a half flight. Like the plane is going up and then immediately starts going down. Like it was nothing for a flight. This one was 9 hours. So, you know, from Vegas to
that's a
New
hike.
Jersey. So yeah, it was
layover somewhere.
No, well, I flew from Reno to Vegas, which is only an hour, and then Vegas to New Jersey is 8 hours.
Oh, okay.
There was a short layover in Vegas, but it was only like a little more than an hour or something like that. It wasn't too bad. Mm-hmm.
So how are you around crowds? Did you have any apprehension about being in a convention full of, you know, people? And I mean, I wasn't analyzing you from afar, but you seemed at ease, you know, kind of.
Yeah, because it's not like I don't really like crowds per se. Like you go to a concert, for example, and you're surrounded by people that you don't know, you know, and you might end up interacting with a few people and stuff, but it's mostly a giant crowd of people that you don't know. Legion's Con, it felt like I knew everybody.
Right.
Like everybody made me feel that way as soon as I walked through the door. So any tension that I might have had immediately just drained out of me. Yeah. Because it was like hanging out with old friends. Like, but the whole place full of them, you know.
It's kind of shocking though that like how many people you recognize.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, yes, it would be like going to a concert, but you recognize like, I don't know, 100 people.
Right.
You know, it's like, hey, Ryan, hey, Amber, hey, Curtis, hey, hey, Jesse, hey, Dylan,
and the people that you don't know, the people that you do know, introduce you to the people that you don't know.
Right.
I mean, it's just fantastic. Like, there was no
all about it, dude.
No tension there at all. I actually, you know, I had this idea when the con actually opened, like I didn't want to carry my stuff around when I bought things. So I was like, oh, I'll buy something, then I'll run it up to my room real quick and come back. And I was joking afterwards, like, you can't do anything really quick at the con.
No.
You can't, because
dude, that is so true.
5 people are going to stop you on the way up, and 10 people are going to stop you on the way back.
I would get sidetracked. I would start talking to these two guys, and then I was like, I got to go to the elevator. I got to take something up to or I got to go get my phone charger. I'll be right back. And then I would stop by the desk, or somebody was in the elevator, and I'd start talking to them, and then I would go to their floor on accident. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And by the time I come back, they're gone and there's other people. So
yeah. And that's not being said in any negative way at all.
No.
That was part of what made it so amazing, was just talking to so many different people that I've never got to interact with in person. So.
Did you feel like you had enough time to interact with everybody? Because I didn't. Like, I felt bad. I hope nobody got hurt feelings, but I'm like, Joe.
Yeah, well,
sorry,
like for me,
I'll connect with you. I'm sorry, Joe. Like, hey, Joe.
Yeah, right. For me, like I think Perry Morrell was probably a good example. I think I passed by him 3 times and said, Perry, I'll catch up with you later. And then I never did.
Yeah.
And I felt I actually texted him and apologized after the show,
I did that
after
to
the con was over.
I'm sorry,
right?
I'm sorry, man. And hopefully no one gets hurt feelings.
I hope not. It's the environment. I think anybody who's there totally gets it and understands. The only reason that I apologized is because I said I would catch up with him later, and I like to be a man of my word. If I say something, the expectation is that I do it. And I said it, and I didn't do it, and it made me feel bad.
But it's hard to catch people too, because people have different sleep cycles. People are going to check out Armory while you're in the vendor hall, or you're going to get a bite and they're just coming back. So it's hard to really sync with people unless you go together somewhere,
Right. And there was some of that. I know Jesse and Elijah and I were rooming, and at one point I hadn't seen them that much, but we went and got dinner at a diner one time, and that was nice. We got to spend an hour or so just BSing with just us, kind of a thing. So
supposed to interview Elijah tomorrow.
Oh, awesome. Such a good dude. Such a good dude.
Like, everyone knew that guy. I'm like, I thought I knew everyone. Everyone knows this kid.
Right.
So personable and friendly. And
he is definitely outgoing. Yep. Super easy to get along with. I would definitely call him a friend after rooming with him at the con. Absolutely. 100%.
Sure. Yeah, we went to Target together, me, him, and Jesse.
I'm
like, I'm not buying enough toys. I got to go buy toys at Target.
Right. For sure.
$100 at Target, man, buying toys. Oh yeah, and underwear that I forgot to bring.
Yeah, right.
Jeez.
Hey, that I think that falls into the necessities category. Nobody's going to blame you for buying drawers.
Yeah, I was so excited to bring. I had all these all these t-shirts, that I bought from Wolf King and Cabal, and Purple Gang shirts, and shirts that I had made for myself, and I just totally forgot socks and underwear.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Hey, that's the excitement of the show. I totally can understand that. Absolutely.
So Thursday night you kind of hung out.
So what happened? It was kind of funny. I took a bargain flight, and I now have learned that lesson. I will not be doing that again, because I got the nighttime flight and I thought, I'll sleep on the plane. It's an 8-hour flight from Vegas to New Jersey. I'll sleep on the plane. And then, I'll be not fresh, but feeling pretty good in the morning.
Yeah,
man, that flight was we were just packed in there like sardines, hard plastic seats. And I was just like,
I feel so bad when I'm next to somebody. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Cause I'm I'm wide,
Right.
I got wide shoulders. I'm not a small dude, but the way things are built, so they get the most people in there that they can, it's like 3 seats per, section. And I'm, sandwiched in between. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
It wasn't even the people, because the 2 people that were seated next to me, I was in the center. They were smaller people. I think that part was fine, but just I've worked physical jobs my whole life. My body's kind of wore out.
Yeah.
So it's like my back was hurting,
Right.
my foot was causing me problems, and
it's
I
not
couldn't
like you
stretch
can move
out.
around. You can't, like,
Yeah, no, not at all.
And
So,
you're gonna be elbowing somebody in the eye or something, and I can't stretch my legs.
right.
After a while, I get stir crazy. I'm like, oh
yeah. So I didn't sleep at all the flight up, and then I got there in the morning. I don't know, it was like 4:30 in the morning or something like that, and
Thursday morning.
Yeah, Thursday morning. And then Dylan picked me up. We went there. I was going to grab a nap, but Jesse had just left to go to intern. And I actually saw him when I walked in, and I started talking to people, and I turned around and he was gone. They had just left to go to intern. Yeah. So I couldn't get into the room.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I ended up just hanging out all day, and it was fun. Dylan hung out with me the whole day. We had a great time. We went and ate lunch and stuff, and just hung out with everybody. So it was fun, but by that afternoon, I was pretty tired.
You were feeling it.
For sure.
And so the next day you wake up and you get ready for G-Con. I'm assuming I saw you there, I'm pretty sure, at G-Con.
Oh yeah. I'm standing, and then out of all the announcements, when they announced the role-playing book, man, I just the dragon is amazing, but I've been playing D&D since I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
So when they announced the role-playing book, man, that just blew my mind. Like, I was not ready for that. So yeah.
And was that a complete surprise to you that was?
Yeah.
Had you heard? I had heard a few. I got a few friends, and they had heard a couple things. And
there were whispers, and of course we had seen the miniatures. The studio had posted the picture of Jeremy running a game for them and stuff. But it's one of those. Yeah, it was nothing concrete, and it's one of those things like in my mind, I knew I would love it so much that I wasn't going to get my hopes up and then be disappointed. So I had set my expectations to nothing like that is going to happen, So when it did get announced, again, I was just mind blown. And then Jeremy mentions Legion's Quest. The Legion's Quest guys, if you just waited a little bit longer, for him to mention what we're doing during the reveal, like that was amazing to me. That was definitely, I'd call it a Legion's Con moment. Like, I won't be forgetting that anytime soon.
Absolutely. Like that as a pause on what we're talking about. Jeremy is so smart, and I think he is in the community all the time. Like, he knows, and he remembers. Like, I've made it known. Az is my favorite, as you can see in the background. Az is my favorite character, and so when they announced him and Eric, when they announced the Ashes of Agmendor, and as a version 2, they announced it. I was at work, and I took a picture of myself looking at and I sent it to him, and the next day or something, saying, "Dude, that was an awesome presentation. I'm so stoked about you guys." He's like, "I know." He goes, "I knew that was your favorite." I was like, "How do you even know that?"
Right.
I've said it a few times, but I'm like, how do you even you even know who I am? I got to introduce myself every time I meet you, because I think that why would you even know who I am? You know what I mean?
Yes, I 100% felt the same way. Because I don't message Jeremy. I've only ever messaged him once to ask about some soft goods that he had used on a custom, where he got them from. But even that, I was like, I'm so sorry to bother you. And I know that's part of his job, is interacting with the community.
Right. But
I feel like I'm bothering him.
Yes, I'm the same. I don't want to.
It's just So that's one of those things that I haven't interacted with him much, but like you said, he knows what's going on in the community.
He knows what's going on. So would you say, back to what we're talking about with the role playing, would you say that was your biggest, like the most amazing like reveal for you, or was
by
it
a country mile?
really? I love
Yeah,
that. No, I love that.
yeah.
And
Because the dragon is the dragon was the most amazing reveal. I don't want to minimize that at all.
not at all.
But we all kind of knew there was a dragon coming, and
It had to.
what do the
It had to.
And what do the horsemen do that isn't amazing? Like everything
Right.
they do is amazing. So I knew there was going to be a dragon, and I knew it was going to be amazing.
Mhm.
Not to say that I knew how amazing it was going to be. I was definitely
We had
shocked
no idea. Yeah,
by that.
we weren't prepared.
Right. But I was expecting that. I was not expecting the role playing game reveal. And I want to call D&D like my main hobby.
Yeah.
Like I love Mythic Legions. I'm a completist. Yeah. Like I'm all in on it for sure. But I don't. D&D has a special place in my heart because I've been playing it since, like I said, since I was 15 years old. So like,
I mean,
for taking my two favorite things and mashing them together into one thing, I couldn't ask for more than that. You know?
So like, if you weren't interested in Dungeons and Dragons, you may not even be interested in Mythics. Like it may, you know.
So the first Kickstarter. The reason that I even bought those figures was because I saw the Gold Knight, and like my favorite character that I played at the time was a paladin. Mm-hmm. And I saw the Gold Knight and I was like, oh my God, a knight in gold. And
it's one of my favorite figures, man.
Right. And I was just like, that is so freaking cool. So I then I look it up and I'm looking at all the
Get gifted by Joe this helmet. Thank you, Joe.
Oh, sure, no problem at all. But that, you know, seeing that, I'm like they're not D&D action figures, but they were my D&D action figure. I was like, oh my God, these are cooler than any medieval style, fantasy style figures that had been out, you know, at that time. And I just,
man, they scratched that nostalgia itch of that.
It wasn't even nostalgia. I mean, I was playing D&D at the time. It was like at this moment, like I need orcs and you know and knights and all,
they supplied the fix.
They did, and that's
they still are like,
man. Oh man, and it just they never rest on their laurels. You know, it's just stepping it up and pacing it. You know, things just keep getting better. Yeah, and that this is a prime example. You know. I know some people are like, oh, well, you can't get the old stuff. If you took the first wave, which I absolutely love, I'm not putting it down in any way.
Not at all.
But if you compare the first wave to this wave,
thank you. 100%.
You're getting
and that's
better
not,
action figures.
That's not, and I've said that. Like I have not been there since the beginning, but I do have, you know, Kickstarter figures and I love them. I adore them. But you get, you know, the new Frankenstein's creature. You get Anubis and Bastet. You get any of these new Obscura figures and compare them, you know, Thrace, you know, any of these newer figures. You compare them and all the stuff that they come with.
Well, look at the little dragon on the cultist. You know, even an accessory like that isn't like
just the detail. The belt buckle on Leodicius.
Oh yeah,
is another lion.
Right, and then he has the his cape holders, the pauldron clasps are Etheron, and then he's got a Xylona on his chest. Yeah. So the detail is amazing, or the flaming smoke. For the gin.
They're just they keep topping themselves.
I guess he would be an Efreet, but yes, it I mean, just blows away anything that they did in the old waves. So don't feel bad about missing out on the old stuff. If you're just coming in, you're coming in during an amazing time to be a Legions collector.
Absolutely. So I take it from what you're saying that there is some figures here that you are pre-ordering by Sunday.
So I actually just made my pre-order 2 days ago. And
I did mine 2 days ago also.
Right.
Yeah.
So the extra figures, I got 3 of the gnolls, just because I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it's a werewolf,
Mm-hmm.
but being a D&D guy, gnolls are a classic D&D monster.
Mm-hmm.
I have fought them in many of my campaigns. So I got 3 gnolls. I had to get 2 of the serpent guards. Yeah, I mean, just look at that. That is
I mean,
incredible.
yeah,
Just incredible.
and
So
it's so different than any
Mhm.
other. I think any other mythic figure. Like I'm looking at my collection. I don't have all of my figures open yet, but there's nothing I see here that even resembles this figure. Like
no.
And then what's used? What's reused? There's not much,
Yeah.
if anything.
I don't see anything that looks reused to me. I think it's all new and all amazing, because there's playing D&D, you fight monsters, your characters fight monsters, gnolls and bugbears and orcs and goblins and all that kind of stuff. So to be able to get this figure, it's my favorite reveal from this wave. Like my favorite figure from this wave. Yeah, I am the most excited about this one, just because of the connection to Dungeons and Dragons.
I can't wait to see how it moves. Like they just have the prototype, but I can't wait to see the way it's, and same thing with the snake characters. I want to see, and I think they did do it in one of the Mythic conversations. I didn't get to see that, but I wanted to see how the snake body can move and articulate. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, especially the cackler. They're doing a lot of new types of joints and stuff on them for legions. I'm kind of like those people that'll say that they're a like a snob, a articulation snob. I'm the opposite. I kind of like the old school articulation, and
if it ain't broke,
that's what I'm saying, and people are like, well, I just can't get them in the poses I want. And then my mind goes back to all that great photography you were seeing. And it's like if you can't find a way to take good photographs of these figures, you're not trying.
Right.
And so, but I think I'm on the smaller side of the spectrum with that. I think most people would probably prefer more articulation. It's just never anything that's really mattered to me.
Yeah.
I think but the Valiant Knight keeps the look, but has amazing articulation. Like
amazing. That's one of my
favorites. You can do anything with that buck. And it's like, I don't know. I don't want to go on too much of a rant on it and end up having enemies because they're, they want more articulation, but like the butterfly joints and stuff like that, like who needs
sometimes you can overdo it though, like you buy a Spider-Man figure and it just kind of like flops all over. Like it's so like it can't really hold a pose because it's just got so many joints
articulation
stand up because it's got toe articulation. And yes, you can get insane moves, but it's like it can't really hold that pose. And it's visually, it's got so many damn joints
that you can see all of them.
Like these, it's like if you get a good angle, you don't see any joints, and it keeps you, it makes you feel like that's a real. And I love that about the toy photography. It's like if I see a joint, then it kind of throws me off of
Yeah, I'm with you there. I just, I don't know. And a Spider-Man, I at least understand why people want all that articulation in a Spider-Man. I've been playing D&D for a long time. I've never had a character in full plate armor in a Spider-Man pose.
Right, yeah. He's not doing like crisscross applesauce.
Right, like
I just suit of armor.
I don't need that,
Yeah.
And
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of at with that. But again, not passing judgment before I have the figure in hand. I'm not complaining about it. I'm curious to see how everything with the cackler works out. I'm sure I'll love it. I love everything they put out.
I mean, it's going to be ridiculous in hand, but to see like the movements that it can do, and I applaud the Four Horsemen of doing, pushing the envelope, and I guess only 2 of the figures have the 3.0, the cackler, and also the what's it called, the soldier.
Yeah,
I always forget his name.
Lion Guard soldier or something like that. Of course, I'm going to draw a blank on the names now, but
Golden Pride.
Golden Pride. There it is.
So they also have the new 3.0 articulation.
And I'm not crazy about that, like looking at the elbow joint and stuff. I mean, of course, it's not something that's going to make me like, oh, I don't want this. No, I really want. I ordered 2.
I ordered 3.
Did you? Right.
This one and Basilia were my favorites of this.
Right.
But it's so this soldier is so, historic looking though, but I don't mind that, it's so Roman ish, but I don't mind it. I think it's a beautiful.
It makes good sense though if you look at like a progression of time between like the Roman Empire when armor like this would have been used, and then the Middle Ages when people would be wearing full plate armor. Like there would be different eras of armor.
Different types of armor and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with it, but I have heard, and I guess it just depends on people and their collections. Like some people are like, this stuff, like I have a friend that said none of this wave fits on my collection or my display with my other Mythic figures. I get it. I understand, but I mean, are you going to deny any of these amazing figures because they clash with your scapular or your, this or your,
the only,
I understand that, but
I guess the main thing I'd say about that is that their opinion might change in the future when they actually are around the figures and maybe have one in hand that they might go, or
get a new shelf, another shelf and have them unto themselves. I don't have that, and I'm not downing people. Like they have their organization in their, I'm messy. Like I have like the only organization I have is maybe good guy, bad guy, good guy, bad guy. That's about the only, but I won't have 2 shadow elves next to each other.
Right.
But now I don't have that, that classification or the separation thing that other people do. So I don't care. I just like cool figures,
Yes. And I think that's fine. Everyone should collect the way that they want to collect. Right. It's a hobby. That's one of the things about the complaining that I don't understand. Like we're middle-aged men complaining about toys, and it's a hobby, and that's the thing, is that everyone should just collect how you want to collect, whatever's fun for you. This should be something that brings you joy.
Right.
And I think if I got to the point where I was mad about action figures, that I would stop because it wasn't bringing me joy anymore, because I collect this as an escape from the things that don't bring me joy.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah. Totally agree. So I of course I'm a completist, and I separate everything by faction. But that's me. So and I'm not saying that the way that I do it is right. That's just how I do it. Everybody should do, whatever that they think is
absolutely best. No, absolutely. So is there a spot? Did you clear a spot for these figures? Have you already and you have, a good year and a half, 2 years to figure it out, but are you going to have them all together? Are you going to separate them by faction and put this figure with that faction?
Yeah, all of my legions are separated by faction right now, and it will continue that way. So the all the deities, the gods have got their own shelf right now. Like I have Etheron and Xylona with the angel, some angels. I have like 5 angels with them. And they've got their own spot. the horsemen have their own spot with a gap in there for Necronominus, which is coming very soon.
Can't wait. Yeah.
But most of it is by faction. You know, a lot of the factions are pretty big. So like Xylonis Flock covers 2 shelves because there's no way I could fit them all on one shelf. Or
you have the mounts. You have like Alder and
yeah, I have all the mounts.
Awesome. They're
so
good. They're so good.
Yeah, everything is so great. Like there was never anything that came out that I was like, I don't really want that. Like I've been excited to get everything.
The only thing for me, and I'm waiting for someone to talk me into it or to show me, is a Ferris,
the centaur.
That's the only one where I'm like, I don't know. So I'm waiting for someone to really talk me into it, but everything else, I'm like, this is so cool. This is
so for me,
I need the right centaur. Maybe I need the right centaur. I don't know.
I'll send you a picture of him on the shelf next to everything else.
Okay.
He is so big and so imposing. I think that he just looks like a force to be reckoned with, standing next to a bunch of elves. You know what I mean?
Are cool. For some reason, maybe it's his head. I don't know. There's something. You know how like you see a mythic figure and you're like, I like that, but then you see it with a different head or a different head that's included. And you're like,
right.
That's
right.
So maybe for me, and because I really liked that Shadow Centaur, I liked him with the elf head, like the bigger elf, the elf helmet. I mean,
right.
That classic elf helmet. I know I've got one laying around here, but
yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. The one with the swoop on it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I like that look. That kind of appealed to me. So it's cool that they give alternate heads so that maybe, if I don't like this, maybe I like that instead,
Yeah, or army build them, I only ordered one because that's what I could afford at the time, but I'd be really surprised if I didn't end up with a second one down the line of the Shadow Centaur, just to be able to display, with the different heads. So
yeah,
I do
a person. Definitely. So you said the Snake Soldier and
the Royal Guard. Now I ordered 2 of these because
I did too.
I got 4 of the Ninian Infantry.
Yes.
So my idea is to have her in the back, and then the 2 Royal Guard, and then 4 infantry in front of her. So she might end up with her own shelf by the time it's all said.
Right. I was kind of thinking that too. Like I'm not one that kind of bunches the different, all the same type together, but I was like, that's why I bought 2 of these guys, because I'm like, okay, 2 of those, and then I got some Ninians too. And
it's a Royal Guard. You got to have at least 2.
Yeah, I'll put her right in the middle. I'm like, that's gonna look really good. Because that Ninian, man, I keep looking at that figure. I'm like, that figure is just so goddamn pretty.
It is. It is amazing. Amazing figure.
So nice. The colors. I'm looking at the blue of the tabard, the gold of the loin, the shield with the yellow on there, the Aztec. I'm like, all cylinders, man.
Yeah, I say 4 right now, but I'm sure if they do an in-stock sale on those or a pre-order later on down the line,
it'll be hard to say no.
I'll be getting more for sure.
So if there's anyone out there that's new to Mythics that is not sure about that figure, buy it. If you regret it, me or Joe will buy it from you.
Okay? Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one thing about Legions, and I want to say it about any of the figures. They're not hard to unload.
No.
They're not. Even if you're just getting your money back plus shipping, like they're pretty easy to get rid of if you decide you don't want them. There's a pretty good chance that you're going to end up wanting to keep it after you get it in hand.
But if you don't, selling it. Like, why did I sell that?
I've heard that from people quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a big Mythic seller. Like if I have extras, or if I have a friend that needs one, I'll sell it to him or trade. I would rather trade.
Yeah, that's how I am too.
But yeah, just good stuff, man. But yeah, that Ninian, god dang, that's
yeah.
So let's see. So trying to think, Legions Con. Did anything else So I know you participated in the 1,000 swigs. I got a picture of the table here. So
Yeah.
did you bring 12, or because you said you did 12, but you didn't bring all 12, right?
I did bring all 12.
Did you?
Yeah, one of them was for Adam, highly articulated.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his last name. Sorry, Adam. But he was talking about that he wanted to participate in the 1,000 swigs, but he just didn't have time to do a custom. And I was like, I messaged him and I was like, hey, dude, I'm like, I'll totally make one for you.
Yeah.
So the one that was like the forest goblin head, repainted green.
Yeah.
That was the one that I had made for Adam.
I remember seeing that one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I made that for him. But then that left 11, that were my own, including the Jekyll and Hyde swig,
Yeah. So how many did you actually bring home?
9.
9.
I brought 9 of them home. Yeah.
Nice. So what did you, if you don't mind sharing, what did you pick up at Legion's Con? Like what were some of the things that you're like, this is coming home with me?
Yeah. The very first thing that I bought was Detour Customs, that throne with the flames on top.
Yes.
I just
good dude. Man, that guy's a dude.
Stefan is amazing. Just a great human being. But as soon as I saw that, I thought of putting Gorgo Aetherblade on it.
Yes.
Like the new one, and I was just like I have to have it.
I need some thrones on my right now. I just got figures. I need some. I've got a couple of dios. I got one from Brian Lynn and another one from Alexander DeGraw. Yeah. And I got another one from, I think it's Wolf Labs. Can't think of his name. Chris? No, I'm not sure. But yeah, a throne would be a nice.
Yeah, I had to get that one. That was
that was a nice one. Yeah,
it was really nice, and it just fit my image of Gorgo. And like what his throne would be like.
Right.
Like I had to get that one.
He's like a
right.
A tyrant or mad king. They need their throne, man.
Absolutely. So
what else you
got
pick up?
That?
And you had to have in mind, like, hey, I've got limited space. I can't buy, a life size.
Yeah, which I overshot by like double.
Did you?
what I meant to buy.
You have to ship stuff home, or
no? I ended up. I was able to pack everything into my suitcase, but my suitcase was 20 pounds on the way up and 50 pounds on the way back. Like I couldn't have squeezed a toothpick in there.
Right. That was my car, dude. Me and Andy went together, Andy Cox.
Yes.
And I'm like, if you would
have Andy's such a great dude. Like
such a great guy.
Freaking love that guy.
Like if you or I would have bought one more figure, it would have been in our lap.
Yep.
Or something would have been had to stay because I had it like so Tetris. We couldn't get to the sandwiches. We couldn't get to nothing. It was just packed.
Right.
Not another inch of space. But man, we had such a blast.
Oh man, it was amazing. And of course I got the Trevor lunchbox. I had pre-ordered that, so I picked that up there. I don't know if you can see that gold skull back there, but there was this amazing Wolf King. They're God's Fire.
Yeah.
They were, Lynn and Steven and Emma were but they were so kind to name one of their part sets after me, myself and Kent.
Yes.
And
Kent dude was in tears and showing everyone that was walking by. Like I was walking by, he's like, look at this, look at this.
Right.
Like, what am I looking at? He goes, they named it after me. I'm like, you're a good dude, man. Yeah, and Joe too. I'm like, both of you guys are great dudes. You guys deserve it, man.
We had no idea. I had zero idea about anything to do with that. Like, I still, it still blows my mind to think about it to this day. Like, there was no expectation. I walked into the room and Curtis goes, come with me right now. And I thought he needed help like carrying something, or something like that. And I was like, all right. So I follow him, and he walks down, he goes around the corner, and he just points. And I was like, no freaking way. Like, yeah, just mind blown. That was amazing. So of course, immediately I had to buy, that set of parts, of course.
Yeah, you deserve it, man. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I don't know if I deserve it, but I definitely am appreciative of that. Like it was just such an amazing thing for them to do that. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about it. Just incredible,
What else you picked up?
Of course, a lot of the Armory figures.
Yes, I love those damn things, man.
Yep, I got a table, like a marble-looking table from Alexander Deshaw.
You make some great stuff, man. I
got
a fountain from him before Legions Con, and it is beautiful. Man, it's beautiful.
It is. I have one of his fountains too, and he had just this nice marble-looking table, and I was like, I know I can do something with this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then I got some prints from Nate. Nate Barch. That was one of my Legion Con moments too. Like, I had met Nate at the Mythic meetup that they did in Sacramento a few years back. I got to go to that, and I met him there. And
nice guy, man.
This is amazing. This was at the Mythic meetup. I'm just standing in line, to buy some prints for him, and so it's my turn. I get up there, and my middle son was with me, and I get up there and I go, hi, could I get that print, and could you sign them for me, please? And he goes, you're Joe, right? I went, you know who I am? And he goes, yeah, I really like your stuff. And I was just like so shocked. My son says, that's the only time I've seen you physically recoil in like my entire life.
Wait, what?
I was just blown away. Like that Nate Barch. And that shows what a good human being he is. Yes. He would even recognize me and then, say something nice like that. You're right. But then at Legions Con, I was walking down the hallway and he was standing there talking to some other people. And when he saw me, he went, Joe, and gave me a hug.
Yeah.
And it was just like, that was another Legions Con moment for me. I'm like, oh my God, Nate Barch is hugging me. Why is this happening? Like, it's almost like I would just say, like, I don't know if I deserve this.
Yeah. Cause I'm like, I'm a fan of you. Like, that you even know who I am. Like, I'm a fan. Like, I'm nobody, but like, that you even would know my first name, like, or that you're nice to me. You know what I mean? I'm not, it just blows my mind, but they're all like that. Everyone,
any of those guys, if they just walked by me and didn't acknowledge me, I wouldn't have thought one thing of it, There, Jim, the second day that I was there on Friday, I have a Gothotropolis t-shirt, and I never wore it because it's so rare. I was like, I don't want to, if I got it dirty or something, I would be so disappointed. So I'd never worn it before, but I thought, if I'm ever gonna ruin it, ruin it at Legions Con.
You gotta wear it at least once, man.
And I wore it, and Jim was walking by, and he goes, I always really liked that t-shirt, and then I talked to Jim for like a couple minutes, and I thought that was amazing because he didn't have to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, he's so nice. They're all
of them
super cool. Like,
super cool guys.
I'm not trying to be anything, but like, Corn Boy wished me a Merry Christmas, like out of the blue. Like, he sent me a message like, hey Greg, Merry Christmas to you and your family. And I'm like, that to me is one of the greatest Christmas gifts.
Absolutely.
That he thought for, you know what? I'm going to message Greg and tell him Merry Christmas. Like,
right.
Who am I? Like, I'm nobody, dude. I'm dirt, man. I'm a nobody fan.
Nobody. Yep.
But I'm a fan of them, and I'm a fan.
That would be like I mean, this is an extreme example, but I doubt Taylor Swift messaged any of her fans on Christmas to say Merry Christmas.
But for me, it's Cornboy, like that he wished me, like, and I'm like I said, I'm not trying to be like, oh, Cornboy, me and Cornboy. I'm not at all.
No. Like, I know exactly what you mean, because
he took a minute of his time, and did that. I was just so like, I didn't know what to say. I'm like, same to you, sir. Like I was just, but that just is a testament to how real and cool all of them are, from all the top to the bottom. They are
absolutely
all, super outstanding people.
I ended up, trying to shake hands with every member of the studio I could find, just to thank them for putting on Legion's Con for us. Because it was that amazing of an experience. I was so appreciative to them that I got to experience that. So I shook every hand of a studio member that I could find and thank them.
And they appreciate us. Like they say, like, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have this, amazing, convention celebrating our toys. Like, if it wasn't for you guys, and it's like, you guys are so real and humble, you make it easy, but you come up with some badass shit that I have to buy. But it helps. It helps that they're gracious and kind, and this community has
absolutely
embraced them and wrapped around them. If they were dicks, this community wouldn't be here, I don't think. You know what I mean?
It wouldn't. It would be, but it would be a completely different community. It would be a typical internet community, which I'm so thankful that it's not, because I've made so many good friends because it's not that typical community. And I can't even say just toy community, just the internet is a pretty toxic place. Like, you bring people together, and
to know that we know, I'm going to say a core group of maybe 100 people in this community that are just solid, good people. Like that, to me, I don't know everyone in the cabal. Nobody does, I don't think. But like the core group of people that interact, and that people that post and that interact with other people and welcome new people, or people that have shows and talk about how great this line is, and share and are generous. Like, what a core group of people, a collection of amazing human beings.
It's great because it propagates those good feelings. I like to say to people, put in what you want back.
Right.
If I give somebody a figure, I hope that person will take that kindness and pass it on to someone else, or something like that, and just spread that good feeling, and again, this is a hobby to me, and I want it to make me happy. And like I said, complaining about toys or fighting or all that kind of stuff, bickering, that doesn't bring me joy. And I want this to bring me joy. So I'm going to try to do things that add to the positivity of,
I agree. I mean, that's the least we can do to give back, is to try and be positive and focus on, the goodness and the generosity of others, and the kindness that pervades this group. I have a friend that he's kind of in the fringe. His name is Fernando. Good dude. He loves the figures. He's not a hardcore, he's not doing shows. He was on one of my episodes, my earlier ones, but he's kind of an outsider looking in, kind of, but he's busy. He's got a newborn and stuff. I don't
sure.
But he's like, man, he goes, Greg, this community makes me want to be a better person. And I'm like, right on, brother. And he goes, because he's in HVAC, he does like repairs, and he goes, I repaired this guy's air conditioning for Mythics. Like, I'm like, you don't have to pay me, but if you have a Mythic figure, I'll take it. So the dude was like giving him, but he got a Balam. He got
nice.
and they're in Utah. I mean, it gets warm out there. So
right.
but he wasn't expecting. He's like, if he gives me a figure, cool. If he doesn't, no big deal.
Right.
But like, he knew that guy was a mythic, a member of the community, and part of like the Utah chapter, whatever. But he's like, I just want to do something good for the community. I'm like, dude, you did, man. And
that's it. Yeah,
you don't have, it's just, I don't know. It touched me that he wanted to be better, like that this community has that effect on people.
And that is what makes it so amazing and keeps it such a positive community.
Absolutely. So before we depart, I got to ask, are you going to return, Joe? Is Joe G returning for another Legions con?
Funny story with that. Like the whole con, Curtis must have asked me 10 times. He kept asking, are you coming next year? Are you coming next year? And I kept saying, I'm going to really try. This is amazing. Yeah. By Monday morning, like all of you had totally broke me down. And I was like, yes, I have to come back and experience this again. It was just way too special of a feeling to not experience again. So yes, I will be back next year.
There you go, guys. It's official. Joe G has confirmed here. I look forward to seeing you again, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're gonna, and I think that I'll be in a more prepared headspace this time, so I won't be like you'll deer in the headlights the whole time. Yeah, I'll be.
But I thought that I was going to be ready, but there was too many people. Like I'm like I got too many friends, and I want to see them all, and I want to hug them all, and spend time and conversate with everyone. And you'll find that, man, you just don't have the time. But man, it's great to try. It's great to try. As hug as you can.
It gives you something to look forward to every year, I guess. Then is that chance to see friends and hang out and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a story that I told on Legions Ladies. They had me on there for a few minutes to just talk about my first time Legions Con experience. And I spent so much time prepping for the armory experience. Like I got to get these figures and these parts, and I had it all laid out. And I was there like half a day, and I was like, I get what I get. Right. I got to spend time with these people, and that's the real joy of being part of this community. There's so many really, really special people,
man,
that
so many.
I'll worry about the figures later. Let's just socialize,
Yeah. I was telling another friend, I'm like, I was looking at my phone because I want to do some slides of the toys that I took pictures of. And I'm like, I took no pictures of, I've got like maybe 2 pictures of the dragon and maybe 1 of the Ninian. Yeah. But everything else is just pictures with friends.
Yeah. And I hardly took any pictures myself because I'm not really a picture taker, but I poached a lot from like any picture that I was in that somebody posted. I was snagging that and saving it on my phone.
Yeah,
for sure. So
I loved it. Well, I appreciate you coming back, man. And
yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Anytime. You and I are working on something now. We've got Cameron Smith, I think his last name is. I'm trying to get him on the show. He wants to. He's just a busy guy. Naturally, he's got a lot going on. But I'm hoping that I can connect you and him and I together, and we could tape a show together.
That was another thing that was really neat is I got to be a part of one of his playtest groups for the game, which was super amazing.
Well, I love that they had you guys as fans have you guys play the game while it was there. How long did it go on?
A couple hours.
Yeah.
Couple hours.
I know Cornboy was there for quite a while because I was going back and forth because the swig room was down the hallway, and so I would pass once or twice, and my room was right there. And I would walk by, oh, there's Joe and there's Steph and Mira, and there's Cornboy still sitting there. I was like, geez.
It's funny. I was so focused on what was going on in the game that I didn't even pay attention. I knew that I saw Cornboy for a second, but I was like really in D&D mode. Like I was really absorbed in what was going on. There was so many people that were playing that were new, like Steph and Mira were new. Pat Boyle played with us. That was super fun.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just like a group of new people, and
Pete McCarthy too, I think, was there. Pete.
He was in the first session. There was 3 sessions altogether.
Was it like
I got to be in the third one.
Were they timed, or how did that work?
I guess so. I mean, they were split up at different times throughout the day.
Oh, okay. Was Cameron the dungeon master each time?
For all of them, yeah.
Was he called the dungeon master, or is he called something else?
He's the game master. I guess is the generic term for the person that is in charge of running the game, the storyteller. Right. They might have their own name for it. A lot of third-party companies will come up with their own name for what they call the dungeon master, since that's copyrighted by D&D. But yeah, he ran the game. Super fun. Like I said, playing with people who are new to the game was an absolute joy. And then I chatted with him afterwards, and you know, we got into some of the lore of like how, like Jeremy's brought up a couple times about skeletons. Mm-hmm. Skeletons will be a player character. That's not a thing that you can do in D&D. Mm-hmm. But because skeletons are such an important part of Mythic Legions, they're going to be a player character.
Very popular.
Yeah. So to be able to make those fit in, most skeletons can't be damaged by piercing or slashing weapons. They don't do full damage. So they're going to explain that away in a way that they're held together with like a weave of magic. Mm-hmm. So if you stab a skeleton with a sword, it's still going to do damage because you're damaging the weave, of magic, not necessarily the skeleton. So
they've thought things out, you know.
Yes, yeah, and there's more stuff that he talked about. I don't want to step on the toes of that interview, but I'm sure it's things that he'll be able to expand upon when you interview him. But it's really cool stuff. There's going to be a lot of lore in the book that mm-hmm. we don't really know about, that they haven't touched on, just because you have to have that detail in the book to be able to have a role-playing book. So I'm super looking
deep and pretty developed for them mm-hmm. to, did they give you any kind of idea on how far along they are in the process?
No, and I didn't ask, but it's an in progress thing. I know they're going to do a Kickstarter type affair when the book is ready to release, mm-hmm. but the turnaround will be a lot quicker because printing a book is a lot faster of a process than manufacturing toys and things like that. So, yeah, I don't know when, but of course I'm hoping soon. I know Cameron's working on it right now. So.
Well, I will let you know as soon as I hear from Cameron. I would love to have you on if he's down with it. I'd love to have you on.
Yeah, of course, ask him. But
I'll just sit and look puzzled and curious. But I'll let you guys do the conversating. So whatever ideas or questions that you might have, figure that out, and then when the time comes, we'll be ready to do that episode, and I look forward to it.
Absolutely. I have plenty. I could ask him probably 100 questions right now, just because I'm so excited for it. But
there's a fan base. I mean, so mm-hmm. I think it's a worthy show to have you and him on there. And talk about it, because I think a lot of people want to learn about it.
Absolutely. And just a quick plug for role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons for those people that haven't tried it. I started out with it when I was 15. I'm in this little country town, and I liked heavy metal music and comic books, and I didn't feel like I fit in. And that's one cool thing about Dungeons and Dragons, is it gives a lot of people that don't feel like they fit in or have a place. It gives them a place.
Yes.
And then as I got older, it became my excuse to socialize, and it's still just as fun. I mean, who doesn't want to pretend to be something spectacular, you know? So I encourage anyone who hasn't tried Dungeons and Dragons to give it a shot. Of course, there's this nifty little show on YouTube on the Let's Go Off-World podcast channel called Allegiance Quest. And Jesse has experience, but everyone else in the group, Trevor, Nate, and Curtis are pretty new to role-playing. So I think anybody who's curious about it, who hasn't done it, that wants to maybe learn or dip their toe in, watching that show is a good progression of them starting and not knowing much about it. We recorded our 11th episode last week, and they've come really far in that time, you know, and now you can tell they're getting comfortable with the rules set and with what role playing is, and really are getting into it. So if you're interested in D&D, maybe check out our show.
Is it it's a pre-recorded?
Yeah, most of them are pre-recorded.
We've done kill Curtis.
We've done 2 live shows.
He loves his live shows.
I know. And we've done 2 live shows, and I don't know why. Why they wanted to do them live. It's not like we're interacting with the audience, you know, we're playing a game. So
I think that was the only one I saw was the live one.
The live one, yeah.
I got an alert for it. So when is it? When do the new episodes come out?
We're supposed to record an episode. They're supposed to be the opposite weeks of Legion's Lounge, but of course, we're adults, and a lot of times things don't work out. There'll be gaps in between, but
logistics.
We do it when we can, can get together and make it happen. But we're supposed to record one after Legion's Lounge this upcoming Monday.
Okay.
So there should be a new episode to watch next week.
Nice. And then you're also a regular on Off-World, which is
the Let's Go Off-World podcast on YouTube. Each and every Friday night, according to Jeremy DeWitt's theme song, we make our best effort to have a show every Friday night. So you can find me there. I have a really I look forward to doing that show all week. Like that's definitely a high point for me, is just getting together and hanging out with everybody and hanging out with the chat and just having fun.
Yes.
We have a topic, but we're usually all over the place just doing.
That's what's good though, is just freewheel it and see where it goes and enjoy the
we do what we want to do. That's what I always say, you know. I do what I want. So
and then you're on Oz's show also sometimes?
So on Saturday nights, Oz on the Ostradamus Toys YouTube channel, he does his clubhouse on Saturday nights. And I am on that as often as humanly possible. I have to miss some here and there, I guess, just like anybody. But most Saturday nights, you can find me on that show, just hanging out with those guys. Because what's fun about that is it's not 100% Legion's focused. Like those guys collect all kinds of different stuff, G.I. Joe and Motu, and
it's nice to talk other stuff.
And I also get to be the Legion's guy.
Right. Like you're the expert that they go to.
I'm Legion's Joe, you know, or Mythic Joe, I think. Yeah. Nolan in the chat calls me Mythic Joe. So, you know.
There's worse names.
Absolutely. And I've been called worse names for sure. But so that's a lot of fun too. I try to be on that show as often as possible.
Yeah. So I mean, that shows that you love talking toys, man.
Absolutely. I always say, because people ask me what my channel is, and I don't have a channel, but I'll go anywhere that I'm invited, you know.
Do you ever think about having your own thing, or is it just too much?
I think it's too much for me. Just to have the time to, because
it could be a pain in the ass. Like my show is nothing. I'm just sitting here talking to you, but like a lot of times, like if I know you, then it's easier. If I don't know you, like I've Trevor said, yes, I will be on your show. And I'm like, thank you. But then I'm like, fuck, what am I going to ask him? Like every photography question has been asked already. So I'm like, what do I even ask him? I don't know.
The good thing about Trevor is that Trevor will carry the show. Like
makes it easy.
He has plenty to say, and I don't mean that in a rude way at all. It's just Trevor can talk, you know, and he has his own show and he knows how to keep things moving. Yes. So yeah, absolutely 100% have Trevor on. You won't need to ask him many questions. He'll carry.
That makes me feel better.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm like, I don't know what to ask. I want to ask him, irreverent questions, but I mean, everything has been asked already. I don't want to keep rehashing things that he's,
and that's the thing too. It doesn't even necessarily have to be like Trevor is a cool dude. He's done so much like people talk about Corn Boy being in a band. Trevor was in a band.
I did not know. That.
Yeah.
See, I mean, I might have to research him and dig deep into his lore.
Yeah, just ask him about stuff. He's traveled to like Scotland for I don't know if it was his honeymoon or something like that, but he's traveled the world. He's played in a band. He had long hair when he was young. Just stuff like that. Like you could have a complete show with him and not talk about photography at all. So
and that's kind of what I want to do. It's like, yeah, I know that that's his passion and that's his job and stuff. And
sure.
and I would love to acknowledge that. I'm a fan. I like and he's such a nice guy. Every time I see him, he's super gracious. He's worn my shirt. He wore it at G-Con, and I was just like, oh, thank you. But I don't want to talk to him just because I'm a fan. Like I want to be able to have a conversation with him where I'm not like, duh, I'm a fan.
Right.
I want to be able to like, engage and be able to carry on a conversation. My friend Eric on Project Action Figure did an interview with him and it was great. Like they talked about photography and I'm like, man, those are good questions. But I just don't have it.
Yeah, like me, I'm not a photographer. Like I wouldn't even know where to begin with photography questions.
I know how to use my phone. That's it.
Yeah. But I've talked to Trevor a lot, like when we do Legion's Quest. Trevor and Nate were a big part of why I ended up doing that. They kind of talked me into it.
Really?
And that was just talking about D&D, So, yeah, just good people, easy to talk to. Yeah. It doesn't have to be focused on photography. You could talk to them about music or movies or anything.
I might try that. Yeah, I'll try something different. And if people don't like it, then I'm like, too bad, don't watch it.
Yeah, I think that they'll like it. No, I think they'll like it because people like Trevor.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would like to learn more about him than just the photography part.
Yeah, absolutely.
It seems like a cool.
I support that decision.
Yes, thank you. All right, my friend. Thank you so much, dude. I can't tell you how much.
Yeah, you bet.
Your time.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Part 3, come back again whenever you feel the want. You're always welcome here in the New to Mythic Den. Whenever
I thank you. I appreciate that. Anytime you want to talk toys, man, I'm your guy. So.
Sounds like a plan, Stan. That sounds good. All right, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you again, Joe. I'm hitting the hay.
Absolutely.
You have a good night. I appreciate you, man. We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Remember, friends, to always have fun, be curious, share, and enjoy what this line has to offer. Come for the toys, but stay for the friends. Good night, and thank you very much.